best car, SUV, or truck, guess what? You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay, come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier, we got the right price. Frontier, we'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors, low overhead country.
Well, good news. We have another Frontier Motors show lined up for you here on Talk at 10 on News Talk 1370 WCOA. Your opportunity to get the price of a car or a truck or an SUV that you're thinking of buying or selling or trading in. If you would like to get that information, you give us a call, 478-3116, 478-3116. A couple of ways that you can contact Frontier Motors, of course. We'll be telling you more about that as the show progresses, but they're located at 230 Beverly Parkway. That's just across Highway 29 on the extension of Brent Lane, which becomes Beverly Parkway and Michigan Avenue and Softly Field Road, etc. But give us a call if you want to speak with Ivan Streckel, 478-3116. And even as I speak, Mr. Streckel is here ready to take your phone calls. Good morning, sir.
Hey, Don. Thanks so much for the introduction. And again, we have a double format. This is 1370 Talk Radio on AM radio. We've been doing this show for going on 20 years. We're also videotaping this for our Blab TV customers. So if you are watching this on TV, it probably is not a live show, so you don't have to bother calling in. If it's during the daytime, of course, the dealership phone number is on the bottom of the screen if you have any questions. And if you do have a question on a value in the car, if you're listening to this on the radio, you can join us again, 478-3116. That's 478-3116. I have a couple of formats that we use to get you the figures to make sure that they are the right figures. One of them that we use is the NADA Value Guide. The NADA Value Guide has been around for a long time. We do not use the Kelley Blue Book, and we don't use the Edmunds. And I know that when you're Googling used car values, that's what's going to pop up on your screen on your computer. But unfortunately, all the banks and credit unions and insurance companies in our area use this particular NADA format, so that's the one you should use. The other thing that we use is what's called a Black Wholesale Guidebook. The Black Book is a book that's been in existence forever. I got in the car business in the 1970s, and I remember the salespeople had these on their desk. Actually, the managers got mad if they were left on the desk because they were afraid the customers could get their hands on them. And one of the reasons was because this book tells you supposedly what the cars are selling for at auction. In other words, what a dealer's paying for the car. And of course, the dealers don't want you to know that, because you might be able to figure out what they paid for it and how much money they're making. Of course, they don't want you to know that because they want that to be a secret. At Frontier Motors, one of the things that we always tell customers that we're going to make money when we sell you a car, but we're not going to rip you off. We're going to give you a fair deal on a better product with lower miles, more equipment, and in better condition. This show is not just about Frontier Motors. It's about giving you advice. If you're going to buy a brand new car, and of course we'll try as we might to try to talk you out of that, but if you are going to buy a brand new car, we have the new car cost guides that I subscribe to, and these basically are the invoices of any new car out there. And then Consumers Reports, which I subscribe to also, I get the mail, and then back of Consumers Reports, they always have an advertisement that we can get you an invoice for $15 on any new car. Of course, if you're looking at 10 different new cars, that's going to be quite expensive. Why not just call Frontier Motors, and I can tell you what the invoice of the brand new car is. And the reason you might want to know that, because if you know what a dealer paid, it might be easier to negotiate yourself a good deal on that car without wasting a lot of time by making ridiculously low offers or by paying too much and making too high of an offer. The other thing I also have is the Automotive News, which gives me the current rebates and incentives on any car out there. And that, of course, will also help you get a deal if you're going to buy a brand new car. And as we do on every show, I have to talk about depreciation a little bit, because Frontier Motors, what we do is we sell used cars. We do not sell new cars. At least we don't sell new cars that have been titled, because that's illegal. You have to be a franchise dealer. If, for example, you're going to be buying a brand new Prius, you're going to need to go to Bob Tyler, or you're going to need to go to Eastern Shore. If you want to go outside the area, obviously we would rather have you go to Bob Tyler because they're a local dealership. But if you want to buy one that's got low miles on it, you might want to stop at Frontier Motors. And the other day we had a new record that we hit at Frontier Motors. I bought a 2015 Prius at the auction, and it had 2 miles on it. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up is because why would you buy a vehicle with 2 miles on it used at Frontier Motors versus going to Bob Tyler buying a brand new one? Well, again, if you want to buy a brand new one that hasn't been titled and you want to get the full factory warranty, you go to Bob Tyler. What we specialize in at Frontier Motors is selling cars that have been titled, and let's say this particular car might be 2 months old. So instead of getting 36 months on the warranty, you're left with 34 months on the warranty. But if I can sell that vehicle for $5,000 less than the discounted price of a brand new one, it might be worth your while. And Consumers Reports said last year in the April edition on page 21, it says that the average selling price of a vehicle in 2015 was $34,000. In 1 year, the average depreciation is 27%, which equates into a $9,180 depreciation in 1 year alone. So what that means, if you stop in at Frontier Motors and you look at a 1-year-old car, if I'm buying the vehicle at that $9,200 appreciated value, even if I marked it up $3,000, you'd still save almost $6,200. If I marked it up $2,000, you'd save $7,200. And don't forget, if you're paying $7,200 less, you're also saving 7.5% taxes because you just paid 7.5% less on that car. If you're buying a $34,000 car, of course, you've got to pay taxes on $34,000. If you're buying a car for $26,000, you only pay the taxes on $26,000, which equates into another about $600 worth of savings. In the second year, Consumers Report says a new vehicle drops 37% in the second year alone. In the third year, it jumps to 46%. And if you keep the car 4 years, it's dropped 56% of the value. So if you're looking at a $34,000 car, that car in 4 years is worth $14,900. And that's where we come in. At Frontier Motors, we specialize in the alternative to a new car. We're not telling you not to check a new car out, but before you sign on the bottom line, stop in Frontier Motors for 3 reasons. Number one, I can tell you what the dealer paid for the new car. That's one reason. Number two, I can tell you what I can sell you a car like that with very low miles on. In this case, I'm talking about a Prius with 2 miles on it. I'm talking about a 16 grand Caravan with 100 miles on it, a 2015 Altima with 900 miles on it, a 2016 Honda CR-V with 2,000 miles, a Dodge Challenger with 1,600 miles on it, a Chevy Sonic with 2,000 miles, a Kia Cadenza, which is Kia's Highline car with 2,900 miles on it. I've got hundreds of cars like this on the lot. We have this morning 400 cars on the lot. And the third thing I can do when you stop in at Frontier Motors, other than tell you what to pay for the new car, what I can sell you a 1-year-old car for, is also, even if you're going to buy the brand new car, why not stop at Frontier Motors to get a second opinion on what the value of your car is. So if you're going to buy a brand new, we'll use Bob Tyler as an example. If you're going to go to Bob Tyler and buy a brand new Toyota, and I can't talk you out of buying my Prius with 2 miles on it, what about getting your car appraised and letting us tell you what we'll give you a check for your car for? Now, that doesn't mean you're going to sell it to me. What that means that when you go to the dealership of your choice, whether that be Bob Tyler or any of the other dealers, there's 17 dealers in Pensacola, there's 3 of them over in Milton, so there's 21 new car dealers just in our area alone, you'll know what we're paying for the car. You don't have to tell them that. Have them appraise your car, get the best deal on the new one. In other words, try to keep the transactions separate so they're not overinflating the value of your car. In other words, if you're looking at a $30,000 car, ask them, well, what's the best deal I can get on that $30,000 car? Let's just say hypothetically they knock off $2,000 off the price of theirs. They throw in a $2,000 rebate. So now you're paying $36,000 for the new car, and you've already done a little bit of research online knowing that that's a pretty darn good deal. So now the next thing is you toss them the keys for your trade-in, have the used car manager appraise it, and have them come back with a value. And that value, if I give you $20,000 for your trade-in and they give you $16,000, well, you know that that's not enough. That doesn't mean you have to storm out of there and get mad at them. All you have to do is use the information that you have to help yourself get a better deal. And most of the time what happens, they never even sell us the car. What happens is they just readjust the appraisal of what it should have been right off the bat. And don't forget, if I'm giving you $20,000 for your car, you're not even doing business with me. You're going to be buying a brand new car. So I think that they should give you more money if you're buying something from them than if you're not. Now, they might come back and say, well, your taxes are going to change if you're buying if you don't have a trade-in. And the way that works is, let's say you're buying a $20,000 Chevy Cruze, which you can probably buy a brand new Cruze for $20,000. And let's say I give you $20,000 for your trade-in. Guess how much taxes you have to pay if you trade? You pay 0 taxes if there's a trade-in. Now, if you were to sell me the car for $20,000 and you go to the Chevy deal and buy a $20,000 Cruze, you've got to pay about $1,500 in taxes. So what we do at Frontier Motors, we give you the best of both worlds. Have them give you the $20,000, trade it in at that dealership, and I'll buy it right from the dealership. That way you get the tax advantage, you get the higher appraisal, and I'll still end up with the car. Everybody is happy. Now, number 2, it's how you sell the cars and how you treat the customer. To me, customer satisfaction is one of the most important things that we strive for when you come on the lot. One way we do that is by unlocking every car every morning. A lot of dealerships keep their cars locked on purpose. The reason is because then the salesman has to work really, really hard running back and forth all day long in 90-degree heat because you want to look at 10 different cars and they're all locked up. So there's an obligation there because he's working really hard. We don't want you to feel obligated that you have to buy a car from Frontier because the salesman's working hard. We want you to buy the car when you want to buy the car. What we're going to do is let you sit in every car. It's almost like going to a car show, because when you come to Frontier Motors, if you're looking for an SUV, for example, we have them all lined up. If you go to the Ford dealership and look at a Ford Edge and a Ford Explorer, those are 2 vehicles. Now, if you want to look at the Chevy version, which might be an Equinox and might be a Chevy Traverse, you got to go to another dealership, got to meet another salesman, got to meet another sales manager. And then, of course, if you want to go to the import store and you want to drive all the way over to Mobile and look at an Acura or look at an Audi or look at an Infiniti, now you got to go to all those dealerships. We have them all lined up at Frontier Motors. The other thing we do is we have lots of accolades from our customers because of the way that we do business. And Don's got a couple of them that he was going to mention just to give people an idea of what it really takes to be successful in the car business. The only way that we can do it is by having repeat and referral customers that talk good about you.
Well, the first one is from Glenn. And Glenn says, this is the only dealership that I recommend, and that's saying a lot coming from me. Here's one from Sharon. You sure you want me to read this one, Ivan?
Go ahead.
Kind of gives away a few things. I want to thank all of you for making the purchase of my Toyota Avalon a valued experience. You can be sure the next time I need a wonderful strudel, I know I can call Apple Strudel House and be just as delighted as I am with everyone at Frontier Motors. What a surprise it was to be given such a gift for buying my new Avalon at Frontier Motors. I can't really say enough great things about this company, and that's from Sharon. And finally, David says, thank you so much for not being pushy and for being so very helpful. Scott, he's referring to Scott Ford. Hey, that's the guy that I deal with, Ivan.
That's right. How many cars have you bought, Don?
6.
6?
Yep. Scott did a great job, as well as the gentleman that helped us sign the papers. Great experience all the way around. Thank you for your help. We had heard great things about your dealership for a long time, and it was wonderful to be able to experience that great reputation ourselves at firsthand, and that's from David.
That's funny that you said you bought how many vehicles?
Well, I said 6. It's actually 7.
Is it? Well, here's a customer of Scott Ford's that says, my family has purchased 6 vehicles from Scott Ford. And that's not you. It's not from you. And we are more pleased with the experience every time. The Frontier family is the only car dealership I would ever recommend. I have never walked away from purchase wondering if I got a fair deal. Pensacola is fortunate to have such a wonderful dealership. And I think that's a really good accolade that we're getting from our customers, their feedback. And the feedback is like that for a reason, folks. What I talk about on the radio show and what we talk about on the TV show is what happens when you come to the car lot. And if it doesn't happen, of course, I would want you to talk to me and let me know about this. We have meetings with our salespeople. We want them not to ask stupid questions. Things like, what do you want for your car? What do you want your payments to be? What do you want to pay? Make me an offer. I think it's our job as a dealership that's selling a product to tell you what we want for our vehicle. And if there's a certain asking price, if there's any negotiating to be done, we want to get that out of the way right off the bat. I do not like going back and forth. Our salespeople come to me with the car that you're interested in. We write it on a worksheet. We tell you this is our advertised price. If there's anything else that I can do, we do it right off the bat by taking the price off of the vehicle. And the way that I do that is by going on my computer, going to Price Driver, and finding out what everybody is selling a car like that for. I don't want to be embarrassed where I give you a price and you find that car somewhere else for the same price. If I don't have the least expensive price, what I'm going to do is make sure that I have the lowest mileage car. And if it's not the lowest mileage car, I'm going to make sure that it has the most equipment. And if that doesn't come true, I'm going to definitely make sure it's in the best condition. And when we talk about condition, I used this last time. I looked up a 2014 Honda Accord. This was a couple of months ago, and I actually made a copy of this because it was so interesting, because I wanted to find out what a 2014 Honda Accord Sport was selling for in our area, because I had a customer looking and shopping, and we happened to have one on the lot. And I found the most expensive one was at AutoNation in Mobile, and it had 10,000 miles on it, and they were asking $25,300 online for it. There was 14 available, and I also found the least expensive one, which was $18,700. And guess what? It was at the same dealership. So the lowest one was at AutoNation, and the most expensive one was at AutoNation. The difference in miles was minimal. How can there be a $7,000 price difference? Honda has no equipment. They're all standard. Everything's standard. It's not like one's got navigation and one doesn't. One's got a sunroof, one doesn't. One's four-wheel drive and one's not. They're all the same. Only one reason: condition. And that's why everybody that I talk to, I know when I ask them, do you want a car in below average condition or in above average condition or in what we call mint condition? Everybody says they want one in mint condition. Well, guess what? That costs a little bit more to get one like that. And with the reason AutoNation does that, they're pretty smart. You always want to buy one that's kind of ratty, just for advertising purposes. They can put it on a billboard and say, Honda Accord 2014 starting from $18,700. And of course, you'll walk in and look at that one. You don't want that one. It's probably been an accident. The airbags were deployed. It's a smoker. The tires are bald. It doesn't have a spare tire, but it's a really good deal. And then they flip you over to the other one that's got 10,000 miles on it. And guess what? Instead of being $18,700, it's $25,500. Now, that is extreme. That's why I made a copy of this, because that is extreme. That's not normal. Normally, there's going to be about a $2,000 to a $3,000 difference in vehicles just on condition alone. And that's why I don't like when bankers quote a price. They pick up this little NADA guidebook that I've got in my hands right now. They open it up and they say, your car is worth this. They don't have a clue what they're talking about. All they can do is read a book. They never ask you anything about the car other than the equipment and the miles. They don't run the Carfax. They don't know how many owners. They don't know how it's been treated. They don't know if the oil has been changed. They don't know if it's been an accident. They don't even ask you the color of the car. And don't you think that's important? We make or lose more deals on color alone than anything else. Number one, because I don't buy cars in bad condition, so we don't lose them in bad condition. But color is a big deal. Customer looks at a car. I bought one the other day. I bought a 2016 Audi Q3, small SUV. It was bright blue. I'll tell you what, when you look at that car, you either love it or you hate it. There's no in between. There's no I can live with it. And I had a person that test drove that car and says, I love it, but I'm buying it. Hate the color. And then we sold it on Saturday. Somebody walked in and said, man, I really like that color. But color has a lot to do with the value of a car, not when they're brand new. Actually, this is interesting because this color, supposedly it's not that good of a color, was actually a $595 option with Audi. Over a silver one or a white one or a black one. Can you believe that? Which are the number one selling colors in the United States used is silver, white, and black. So wouldn't a dealer pay more for silver, white, and black when they normally would? I can buy a brown one, a blue one, a purple one, a yellow one for less. But the bankers don't even ask you the color, so they're really not qualified to tell you the value of the car. The only thing they're qualified to do is tell you how much they'll borrow on a particular car based on NADA retail. A lot of times that value is way higher than reality. So you don't want to call them and say, well, I'm going to pay this if it's too high. And yet there are some cars like a Jeep Wrangler that go over the book value. So if they told you the book value of the Wrangler is $9,500, and you go around making offers of $9,500, it's not going to happen because the dealers are paying more than them for them because they just have such a good resale value. Unfortunately, the books just never catch up. But these are things that we help people with in Pensacola every day of the week. I had a customer the other day that he bought a car somewhere else. I said, why'd you do that? I knew the guy. He says, because I didn't want to bother you. Folks, that's what we do all day long. We want to get bothered. And that was his come back. He had asked me a bunch of questions on a different particular different vehicle that he wanted. So I gave him all the answers thinking that that's what he's going to buy. He bought a completely different vehicle. And he didn't want to start over and ask me a whole bunch of questions on another vehicle. So he just went and bought it. He never even called me and asked me if it's a good deal or bad deal. Run the Carfax report. This is what we do, folks. Call Frontier Motors. I've got 5 managers standing there if I'm not there. A lot of times I'll be at the auction buying cars. So if I'm at that dealership, we have 5 appraisers there that can guide you, that if you're looking for a particular car, they can tell you what a good deal is and what a bad deal is. And they can tell you how they came up with the figures. We don't want to kink anybody else's deal. If you find a car at a local dealership, if it's a good deal, we're going to tell you. If it's a bad deal, we're going to tell you. And then we're going to tell you not to go buy it from them. We're just going to tell you what to offer them. Now, why do we do this? Why do we run free Carfax reports for anybody in Pensacola? Why do we run free auto checks? Why do we tell you what to pay? Why do we appraise your cars for free? Why do we give you letters of diminished value in case you get an accident for free? Why do we give you a report that tells you what your total vehicle should bring to the insurance company for free? The reason we do this is because we know that if we give you some free advice, that the car you're buying right now, even if it's somewhere else, is not the last car you're ever going to buy. And if somebody at work or a relative or friend or neighbor asks you, where should I stop to check out a used car? You're going to say, go to those guys at Frontier Motors. You know, I didn't buy my last car from them. I bought it somewhere else. But they told me what to pay. They ran the Carfax report. They told me what a good deal and bad deal is. They told me to walk away if there's not a warranty on it. They told me to walk away if I've got to sign something just to make an offer on a car. If I've got to give a deposit just to make an offer. At Frontier Motors, when you come in, we don't get insulted if you make an offer. We might say, no, we can't do it for that price, but it's nothing personal. Most of the time, people will realize that if you have a really good product, you don't have to be the least expensive one. If I can show you there's 20 cars, well, let's use this Honda as an example. This is a Honda Accord Sport, a 2014. The least expensive one was $18,000. The most expensive one was $25,000. The middle is about $22,000. So if I can sell you my car for $22,000, it's not the least expensive one. But what if my car has the lowest miles, it's the best color and it's the best condition, and it's a one-owner clean history report, and it's never been smoked in? That would make it a better deal, even though the price is not the best. And that's all people want. They just want a fair deal and a really good product on something they really like. And with having 400 cars in inventory, it makes it so easy. And all of our cars are one location. You have some dealerships that have more cars, but they have them all spread out throughout the whole city. Kind of a pain in the butt. If you can walk on the lot and then have every car unlocked, one of the biggest things other than looks that determine whether you're going to buy a car is how the vehicle feels when you get in the front seat. If you can't adjust the steering wheel and you can't adjust the seat properly, you're not going to buy the car. If it's got blind spots that you can't see, maybe the headrest is too big, maybe the seat's lumbar doesn't work properly, maybe the steering wheel doesn't go down far enough. Those are all things that kink a deal. And it isn't nice to go to a dealership where they're all unlocked, where you can sit in them and jump from one to another, especially in this heat. Makes it a lot easier. The other thing, and this happened last week twice in one day. I get very frustrated with this. Customers are trading their car, and I had a customer trade in his car. It happened to be I think it was a 2013 Toyota Highlander. They were trading it in for a newer one. I ran the Carfax on it. It said it had a branded title. If you don't know what that is, a branded title is a salvage title. They were shocked. They bought the vehicle from a dealership, and fortunately, it wasn't a Pensacola dealer. They were never told about it. The title they have didn't say branded title, but the Carfax said branded title. So now there's some questions. Number one, I don't buy anything like that for the lot. But normally, if it really is a branded title, the appraisal is 50% of what it normally would be, because who wants to buy a car that's been completely totaled and rebuilt? Whoever does is a bargain shopper, so it better be a bargain. So what I told him to do is call Carfax and find out what's going on. And I'm hoping it's a mistake. I can't tell. The other one was a customer that we appraised their car for. We actually did a buy bid. This was off of Craigslist, I believe. And Craigslist tells you there's a lot of scams out there. So they tell you Don't give your license plate number. Don't give the ID number of the car. Well, if they don't put the ID number of the car in the ad, what I'll do is I'll make a blind appraisal based on the year and the miles and the equipment, which I can do. I do this on the radio show right now, that I can give you a value of your car without seeing it. Of course, it's subject to running the history report to making sure it's a clean history report. They came in. We made them offer, I think it was $14,500. They came in. We ran the Carfax on it because they didn't call first. They just came in. They were going to take the offer. We were going to give them the offer. Major accident reported, airbags deployed, vehicle had to be towed. Now, that doesn't mean we won't buy it, but it better be cheap. Put yourself in a position of coming into a dealership and they give you this information telling you this. Why would you buy the car? Only one reason. Most people will walk away. But let's say it was fixed at a reputable body shop. Let's say it was done properly. The airbags are there. Everything works fine. The diminished value in a car like that is about $4,000. In other words, I need to buy that car $4,000 less. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up, folks, because the customer didn't know about it. They never asked for a history report when they bought the car. We run history reports at no charge. You know, it's almost $45 for Carfax these days. I think it's $42 plus tax. It's about $45. I'll do it at no charge for you. Just call us up. Give us the ID number. You don't even have to come in. Our salespeople can tell you what it says. If you need it faxed or you need it emailed or text, whatever, we can do all that for you. No charge. If you get in a car accident, somebody rams into you and causes $5,000 worth of damage, your next question should be, well, what does that do to the value of my car? It's called diminished value. We're one of the few dealerships that will give you a letter of diminished value in writing to help you get extra money from the insurance company. Because if I'm going to appraise that car in a year from now, it's going to be a lower value because it's been in a major accident. You should take advantage of that if somebody runs into you. If your car gets totaled, don't settle with the insurance company until you talk to Frontier Motors. We're going to tell you what you should get, plus the taxes, plus the tag fee. A lot of little secrets that are going to help you to get more money. And hopefully by doing this, you might take a look at one of our 400 cars that we have in inventory. We do things so simple, and we try to do things right to make your life easier when it comes to buying a car. And some people are forced into the market because their car got totaled, it blew up, it expired, and you don't want to buy a car, so you're not happy, and you know you got to spend money, you don't want to, don't have the cash, so you got to finance it and make payments. You don't want to do that. But we're going to make it easy for you by giving you all the information up front. We're going to tell you that any car that's a 2007 or newer with less than 100,000 miles gets a 5-year, 100,000-mile drivetrain warranty. If it's older than that or more miles than that, we'll give you a 3-month warranty. If you go to a dealership that doesn't want your cars, if they don't have enough confidence in their car to give you at least a 1-month warranty, I would definitely walk out. And again, don't sign anything unless you're going to buy the car. We've got a great Facebook page, so make sure you like us on Facebook. Subscribe to YouTube. This is going to be on YouTube also if you want a review of this. Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching. Have a great day. Auf Wiedersehen.
You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay. Come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier. We've got the right price. Frontier will treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors, low overhead country.